Hello there, and welcome back to Russell's Movie Reviews, the show where I review stuff that's mostly pretty good and maybe one of the best movies of all time, or a film that absolutely sucks and should remain in the depths of hell. Now, last time in our Gamera marathon, I discussed Gamera versus Virus, and today we're going to be discussing Gamera versus Guiron, which came out in 1969. Now, like I mentioned in the previous review, that was kind of when the series started going downhill for me because because I gave that film a B minus, and that was a rank lower than all the previous films uh, before that. So that was kind of where I thought that the series was gonna go like downhill gradually up to Gamera Super Monster. Holy crap, I was wrong because no offense to anyone who likes this film, but I don't think it's a bad film. But I also don't think it's a good film either. Which I'll get to my opinions later on in the review. But it's not. I'm just gonna say this right now. It's not as good as the first four films. Certainly not as the first three, but it's not even as good as Gamer versus Virus, which was when that was the first film that really had like a very reduced budget. But yeah, this film is just, whew. But this film was released on March 21st of 1969 with a budget of 24 million yen, and pretty much it. So let's get on to the review itself, or to the plot synopsis. So while scanning the skies through their telescope, two young boys see a flying saucer descending into a nearby field. Stunned by this discovery, they tell their mother of one of the parents about their discovery, but the mother just shrugs it off and dismisses the story as nonsense. The next day, the boys, along with their younger sister, cycle to the site to investigate. Enthralled, the boys manage to steal the spaceship and fly into space. Once they get into space, they find Gamera, who saves them from an asteroid, but unexpectedly, the ship starts heading towards an alien planet, leaving Gamera behind. Once the ship lands, the boys see Space Scouts fighting a saw-headed monster named Guiron. Once Guiron kills Space Scouts, Gamera shows up and fights Guiron while the boys try to stop the aliens from wreaking havoc on Earth. So, uh, this is just a generic, like around this time, it was kind of a generic plot of like these people go into space and find this alien planet, and so now they have to figure out how to stop it. And oh boy, it's very fairly obvious. Like this is where the series, in my opinion, starts going downhill significantly because the plot is one of the problems with it. It's just so generic, and I wouldn't have such a problem with it if it wasn't if the film itself was maybe put a twist on it. But no, it's just the kind of just generic. You know, we go into space, we find an alien planet, and now we have to stop the aliens from going to Earth and wreaking havoc. It's just so generic. But that isn't the only problem with the film. Um, the two boys in the film, I honestly thought that at the beginning, they set up the plot kind of with the story arc with them very well. That they wanted to go to space, and that they did, but then the story kind of stops after. Well, it slows down significantly once they land on the planet because the story synopsis that I described until like the last sentence that takes up the first 10 minutes of the film, while the rest of the film is literally them just trying to figure out one, how do we stop Guiron from, you know, possibly going to Earth and wreaking havoc? How do we stop the aliens from, causing harm to the humans, or they heading to Earth and causing, Amucus, and if Gamera's gonna show up and we get saved because our spaceship is wrecked. Because yes, once they do land, the spaceship does kind of a crash landing, and kind of, you know, it has to get repaired somehow. But it it just feels like that there was a lot of potential in this film like got wasted because it's just I can't exactly point my finger on it because it's just a whole bunch of stuff that could have been done very well, and yet it was done very very poorly. So it just kind of seemed lackluster, if that's you know um but um like I said about the kids, they had this good arc, but then once they land on the planet, the story kind of stops and just moves along at a very slow, methodical pace, where it kind of just it, for me at least, I just got bored with it because like after 30 minutes, it just kept on like I was like, just come on, just go already, and it just didn't go. It wasn't doing anything. They were just they were just trying to figure out how do we get out of here, while also learning about the alien women that live on here. Which, by the way, I love the fact that, as I mentioned before, these films are supposed to be more child friendly and a lot more family friendly than the Godzilla films, and yet they have a lot more monster gore than the Godzilla films at this time. And also they bring up points that I don't think they should be in a Gamera film. Like this film especially, the alien women, once they talk to the kids, um they they like realize that, like, okay, they have um they they're a lot more intelligent than we thought. So we're gonna suck their brains out. We're gonna suck their brains out, eat them, get the intelligence from the brains so that we know how human life works, what the atmosphere is, and then fix the ship that they came on, go to Earth, and then rule the planet. Now, I would be fine with that if it wasn't for the fact that this film is a Gamera film that's aimed for kids, and yet they literally just straight up talk about cannibalism. Like, and literally the kids like one of the kids tells the other one, like, these are cannibalists. We need to get out of here. Like, I don't understand how this is okay for kids. And this was 1969. Like, oh my god, I get that back then there was a lot more simpler times, but still, there, I, I know I shouldn't be talking about this, but I don't know exactly remember when Cannibal Holocaust came out, but I think that was an overseas film, and yet that got a lot of backlash because of the graphic nature of it. And yet here comes this Gamera film like a few years before it that's like, oh yeah, we're totally fine with talking about sucking children's brains out and eating them. What the? I don't understand. the, the kids are boring. The alien girls are fine. They just, you know, are just. I feel like that they're just not meant for a Gamera film, especially with the whole the cannibals thing, and I just don't feel like that sort of dialect should have been written even back then. I mean, it's not good in general, but even it just they just shouldn't have done that. Um, Really, the only memorable things in the entire film, which is kind of a given, for a giant monster film are the monster fights. Like they are, typical Gamera fight scenes, but this is really where the fights, like the giant monster scenes, are really start going out there. Like not like in a bad way, but they get over the top, and it's funny as hell. Um, I think one of the best, or one of the most famous Gamera shots is him swinging around on the pole, and I think he goes in one direction 4 times, and then goes in the other direction 3 times. It's like, why show us him getting the hang of it? Just show a couple like a couple shots of him, like swinging around and then him flying off. It's not necessary to show us him swinging one way, getting the hang of it, swinging the other way, and then finally launching off. Like, really? Um, but yeah. Um, monster fight scenes, alright. Everything else is just boring. Just very, very boring. And that does. I think there's only one other film on the review show that I did that I gave the same problem that I had the same problem with, and I gave the same ranking to, which I'm gonna reveal that at the end of this review when I review my rating for the film. But if you guys are fans of the channel, you guys may remember which. Try and guess before, where whenever um, whenever show you guys, tell you guys my rating for the film. Tell me, uh, which timestamp you guys figured it out, and tell me which review it was. If you guys want to, that's fine. Um, but yeah. I guess that's really about it for me because I don't really remember anything from this film. Um, the two fun facts that I have for this film is that this is the first Gamera film where a creature that isn't Gamera makes a return appearance through new footage. Obviously, Gamera being in the title, he obviously appears in every single film with new footage and shit like that. But yeah, this is the first time that any monster that Gamera fought, makes another like a return appearance with new footage, and obviously that being Gauss, which um I should mention this before I get Gamera fans start spamming me in the comments saying like, oh, you forgot to mention this part. So I'll mention this. The original plan for the film was that they were supposed to be along with Guiron, there was supposed to be this new creature that would basically take the place of Space Gauss that in the final film, where he would fight Guiron, and then I believe he would get killed in the same way. Um, but due to budget issues, they ran out of money, so they couldn't really but they didn't have the money to make another new creature besides Guiron. So they were like, well, shit, we can't, you know, we can't make a new costume, and we need some sort of creature to fight Guiron before Gamera does. So, prop team, do you have the original Gal suit? Grab that. Grab a bottle of silver spray paint, spray gray, and we'll use that. And then they obviously named it Space Gauss, and they shot the scene in the final film. So yeah, that's the reason why there was the Space Gauss. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. I only got that information from IMDb, so don't hate me because of it. That was second. I got that information from another website, so which again, IMDb. Don't be attacking me because of it. If it's wrong, don't be claiming. I don't want to see. I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't want to be seeing any comments claiming that, you know, they're you know, the Gamera fans, and yeah, I look at the channel and there's jack shit Gamera videos on there, so I don't be seeing that. Um, so yeah, and then the other thing is that Knifehead from Pacific Rim, the original, not the like the remake that came out in like 2019 or something like that, bears a resemblance to Guiron, but it's more a coincidence than actually being, you know, they decide, hey, does anyone remember that? Like, does anyone remember that weird, obscure Gamera monster? Yeah, let's make one of our characters based off of him. Um, so yeah, it's more just a coincidence that he bears a striking resemblance to Guiron. Then it's like, oh yeah, let's make him similar, like willingly. Um, So yeah, final thoughts on Gamera versus Guiron. I feel like that this film could have been a lot better if it wasn't for the fact like they could have they had a good. I feel like they had a good plot. They just didn't execute it to its full potential, and it's just so. Besides the monster scenes, you know, the flashback is, you know, again, this is another film with the second Gamera film to have a flashback. Luckily, this film was only 3 minutes instead of 15. But that doesn't really help much. The characters are boring to watch. The monster scenes are fine. It's just the fact that there's very few of them to, you know, to like watch and keep me motivated to watch. So, yeah, I'm gonna give Gamera versus Guiron a D plus. And if that sounds familiar, I think that's the same ranking that I gave Jaws 3D. And ironically, I gave it this. Yeah, I had the same problem with that film. Was that it was too boring. So yeah. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for Friday where I'm going to be discussing Gamera versus Jiger, and stay tuned for next Monday where I'm going to be discussing Gamera versus Secret, and next Friday where I'm going to end off the Gamera marathon with Gamera Super Monster. And I'm going to be taking a couple weeks break after that and then I'm going to discuss the next film, which I'll mention at the end of the Gamera Super Monster review. But anyway, stay tuned for Friday, hopefully, when I'm going to be discussing Gamera versus Jiger. You can click over here to go and click on my face to go to my channel, or click the channel name down there, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out, and click over here to click on the previous two Gamera reviews. So anyway, guys, like I said, stay tuned for this Friday, hopefully for the Gamera versus Jiger review. Live long and prosper. Out.